All right. Well, it's good to get back out in the practice field. Good warm day today, and get started on a new week. And really, where we are right now, it's a one-game season. And I told our team our focus is on improvement every day at practice and improving this Saturday with our game. I think watching the video, there's a lot of things to learn from, a lot of lessons and good teaching opportunities. And that's just kind of where we are right now as a team. We have a lot to learn, and we've got to start applying those lessons that we're learning, the next week. And, we got a really good test this week with Temple. I'm very impressed turning on the video. Didn't really know what to expect, knowing that they played their first game against Navy, and they looked like they were in mid-season form offensively. They remind me a lot of Boston College. The last few years at Clemson playing Boston College, tough, physical, well-coached, really good scheme. The only thing different is I really believe that Temple has a better quarterback and better skill players than Boston College has the last couple of years, watching it, just being quite honest. So it'll be another big challenge for us. But for us, it's about improvement, and we got to improve. Too many missed assignments last week, going back and watching the game. We're not good enough, and we don't have enough depth to make the number of mistakes that we made last week. So, that's another big focus this week is everybody understanding their alignment, everybody understanding their assignment, communicating, and, that's what's going to lead to execution. And that's really the final piece for us this year for the things that we can control during the season. There's a lot of things that will be addressed after the season, but for the things that we can control during the season, we're doing a lot of those things off the field. It's just the execution is not showing up consistently enough on the field. We're seeing bits and pieces of that. I think offensively we saw bits and pieces in our passing game this past Saturday, but just not consistent enough to be able to win a game. We have added a kicker from the walk-on tryouts last week, Michael Ray from Orlando, Florida, Boone High School, joined us. Now, he's in day one of acclimatization. I'm waiting on some word. I don't know if he's going to be cleared to participate this Saturday or not. There's a 5 practice acclimatization period. I'll learn more about that later in the week, but we're glad to have him here. He was the best of the group that we had last week and did a really good job kicking the ball off, and he's a lefty, so never know. We may change it up right there. And then we have made a decision at quarterback. We're going to name Jordan McLeod our starting quarterback. I thought he did a really good job with a lot of things last week. And I saw him obviously during the game make plays, but I gained even more respect for his performance on Saturday night and Sunday morning watching the video, because he had a lot of pictures with all their house blitz where they're bringing more than we can block numbers-wise. And there was about 5 or 6 pictures where he's got a guy coming right down the middle of him. He stood in there and delivered a strike and took the hit and showed some toughness. And that's something that you don't really see until you get in the games, because we're not hitting our quarterbacks in practice. I don't think anybody does that. But I thought he didn't play a perfect game by no means. And obviously the fumble was very disappointing, but really made some good decisions. I felt like his timing with the wideouts was the best that I've seen since I've been here. So, that's something to build off of, and we just got to, improve our running game to go with that and some of the protection breakdowns that we had. But that was a bright spot, so he'll start for us this week moving forward, and look forward to getting another opportunity Saturday up in Philadelphia. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Does he stay in there regardless? Is he the guy for the rest of the year now?
Well, yeah, I don't think I have anybody on my team that's staying in regardless. So I talked to him this morning along with the other quarterbacks, and there is a difference when I do name a starter. That means, hey, you're the starter going into this game, and I'm not going to pull him after 2 series or something like that. It would if he doesn't. I expect him to play well, but if we get, whether it's this game or any game in the future, if he plays poorly for a long enough time, then obviously, I reserve the right to put another guy in. And so it's not a season-long contract. Ideally, if he can continue to play similar to how he played last Saturday night, then I would see him having a chance to start all year. That's really our intentions. It's not a this is our starter for this week mindset. It's just, this is our starter moving forward. But there's always a caveat that if we don't perform well enough, then we have other guys that are training and right on his heels to go in. But it's not something that we're going to just continue to switch every 2 series, maybe like we had up until this past weekend.
Coach, Temple's been a house of horrors for USF, but it's normally later in the year where cold and rain or snow or all the above. You're going to go up there and it's going to be 57 degrees, which is going to be a change. Is that going to help?
During a lot of years, you do kind of think about the weather. During this year, I haven't thought about the weather one time. I mean, we played at Cincinnati with hardly no fans. I don't think Temple's going to have any fans. So in a normal year, you would kind of think about advantages or disadvantages. But to be honest, we have so much to work on. We're so far away from being where we need to be on Saturdays that I really haven't even thought about it. And I don't think where we are right now that it should have any impact on our execution and our need and desire for improvement.
I assume you're doing your offensive line together this week. I don't know. How much is it going to help to have that starting line not against the Tigers because they're pretty good innings?
Right. Yeah. I know I got the question afterwards. We gave up 5 sacks and had too many tackles for a loss. So going back and kind of dissecting that, the good news is it wasn't a lot of guys getting beat. Just physically one-on-one where their guy, whipped us. They did a great job with their scheme, doing some things that they did. The biggest mistakes was the communication between guys. And obviously we talked about it last week. We knew it was going to be a big challenge, and they're going to bring a lot of guys. And if somebody goes the wrong way, if we don't communicate it, then it's, hitting the quarterback right away. But, there's no question. We were glad to have that group back. The thing that I was pleased to see is the new guys that did come back, Donovan Jennings and Demetrius Harris, they played pretty solid for the most part. It wasn't a situation where the new guys got out there, haven't played in a while, and gave up a bunch of sacks. I just think overall chemistry and communication, and also the back is involved with that. That was really more where the mistakes came from. But, I've said it early in the year, and I still believe that our offensive line has a chance to be one of our best position groups for our current roster this year. And I still believe that. I believe those guys will make good improvement from for them week 1 to week 2.
Jeff, your receivers, you weren't too pleased with some of the decision making and route running against Cincinnati. Did you see much improvement in that area against ECU?
Yeah, I felt like in the passing game I did. The timing, I think Latrell Williams is a guy that I've seen a lot of promise on the practice field, and maybe he just hasn't got a lot of opportunity up to this point. So it was good to see him make some nice plays. And then also O'Marion Dollison continues to make plays. He's a guy that we have to continue to find ways to get the ball to. But yeah, overall, I felt like the timing, I've talked about this for a while, that the passing game, once you get it protected, it's all about timing and spacing. Like the guys have to be at the right place at the right time for everything to connect. And so earlier in the year, we were short on our routes, and we weren't getting the correct depth. And I felt like Saturday, for the most part, we had a couple things. I was disappointed with Bryce when we went for it on 4th and goal from the 5, and we really had the best call you can have. We felt like off our self-scout study of their tape that they were going to bring house blitz down there on 4th down. They did. We had an inside slant, which is about the best call, but it was the difference of an angle of about 2 feet. Right, Bryce went up the field this way, and with a tight guy on him getting ready to drive, he needs to be a little bit tighter. The ball was about 2 feet behind him. So literally, that's the difference in scoring a touchdown. And then you got a chance without the special teams snafu to go in, with a 7-point game, getting the ball open. That's the little pieces that we're just missing to get to a situation to have success. But overall, the routes and the receiver play, we didn't have any drops, which was a positive. It was much better, but there's still a lot of room for improvement for those guys, and they're working on it every day. And I expect us to get better. Right? We all know the off season was basically just show up in August and let's go. So I really think that my expectation is for us as an entire team to show improvement throughout this season.
Jeff, you've got a stable of shifty, speedy backs. You've got plenty of those. Do you need, for lack of a better term, a bell cow, just somebody that can help you in pass protection and you can handle it 15 times a game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the ideal scenario. We have a couple guys that have potential to be that for us. Leo Parker has potential to do that. He's just behind right now, learning everything. And then Darian Felix is a guy also that's just not healthy. He's trying to get healthy. He's just not healthy. He was able to get in there and do some things, pass protection, but he just can't. He's got hamstring issues and is not healthy. So what you know with Johnny and Kelly, you're going to get everything they got. They're just a different, they're a slasher. And there's no doubt we need one of those bigger backs to really kind of step up and be able to help us. And I think with at least 3, adding one of those big guys to Johnny and Kelly, I feel like we'll have enough to be able to do what we want to do this year. And then obviously that's something that we'll need to address after the season.
Coach, you've got one film, and it's Navy. So you may get something out of it from an offensive standpoint, but from a defensive standpoint, they're not going to be playing the defense that they played against Navy.
Yep.
It's just the ability to see who's the better players.
Yeah, I mean, our defense obviously can get everything because Temple's offense ran their stuff. But defensively, for our offense, watching their defense, I mean, I obviously watch the game, and you're just looking at personnel. And then, you got to go back and watch last year's game. Same coordinator, and just kind of expect some things. It's similar to maybe an opener when you're playing a team. You just have to go back and look at last year's tape and don't have a lot of early tape. But, obviously it's something we'll do and something you do every year, but I don't think it's a huge difference maker for us as far as where we are right now in our execution and need for improvement.
Jeff, on kick returns, Johnny and John Close did an outstanding job Saturday night, setting up the offense pretty nicely. You could talk about that duo. They've been pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was good to see. I think there are some winning areas that we want to build off of and encourage. And I think kickoff return so far has been one of those. I mean, it's the first time that I've ever played the cat and mouse game where they were trying to decide where they were going to kick it away from Johnny, and we were trying to keep our guys stacked, and we were trying to signal at the last second. They did a good job. They watched them, and then they'd yell left or right, and we just kind of went back and forth. And but that has been probably of the special teams. That's the only one right now. That and field goal block have been the two that I feel like have had winning performances so far. And for where we are offensively right now at this point in the year, being able to get the ball out there at the 45, 50-yard line would be a great advantage and great help for us. So hopefully we can continue to improve and continue to make plays on kickoff return, and then be able to have the offense to follow up and finish those drives.
With Temple, they have that nice receiver duo.
Yes.
You got one guy who's 6'5", another guy 6 foot in possession, and he can talk about that's a veteran duo
Yeah.
too. So.
Like I said, when I turned on the video, I was impressed. Their quarterback and wideouts looked like when that's my background, obviously, passing game and wideout play, you can recognize good wideouts. And I think they're continuing a tradition, I believe, that Matt Rule started there at Temple, where they put their most physical players in single-digit numbers. Well, I think their 3 receivers are all single-digit, 5, 0, and 1. So that tells you. And then when you watch them play, they get after it. So it's going to be an extreme challenge, for our secondary, along with they're running, power football right at you in the run game. It's I really believe outside of Notre Dame, this is on film, it's the best offense that we will have faced up to this point, outside of obviously a talented Notre Dame team.
Do you anticipate Boyles being back this week, because he's been outspoken on social media that he's happy?
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting him back, and I think it would be about time. So whenever we get the official green light that he's able to play, then he'll be able to play. But I definitely feel like that time's coming, and we need him back. I mean, I think where we are, body wise and all that, he brings a lot. Very similar to maybe where we were offensive line wise without Donovan Jennings and Meach Harris. Potentially having the chance to get him back, and Mekhi LaPointe's the guy that was the player of the game 2 weeks in a row. Hopeful to get him back as well, and it's just a couple guys can really make a difference for you, because now some of the other guys become your depth, and now you don't have to play. We had to play way too many guys just about every play Saturday, and we're just not at a point yet where that's a good formula for us.